when I started running 3 years ago, this was one of the first people to make an impact on my life. And so our channel here is really specifically for people who are amateur, over 40-year-old people who are like, I just want to be better. I want to feel better. I want to be well. And a lot of people want to start running and they just don't know how to get started. So this is I'm bringing in all the resources, all of my mentors to talk to so that they can answer all of the questions that a new runner over 40 would have. And today we have Ethel in the house. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ethel, welcome. Thank you so much for taking out the time to be on the YouTube channel. And I have lots of questions for you. But first, let me take the people back 3 years ago when I first met you. So, you guys, the very first time that I heard of this wonderful lady named Ethel was through a friend, Tanish. And Tanish is a fellow sign language interpreter, and she was running at the time. Like she had just started running, and it was COVID, and I was stuck. Everybody was stuck in the house,
Mhm.
and I was depressed, disgusted, broke down, financially depleted, and I just needed to change something. So I went outside, and I was just like, I just need to get outside. Well, on social media, I'm watching Tanish and she's like getting skinnier. And I'm like, what is she doing? And she says, I'm running. And I said, you running? And she says, I've never run before. And then Tanish had lost like over 70 pounds. And she says, hey, I want you to meet this lady who's like my coach. And it was Ethel. And so Tanish introduced me to Ethel. And after that, it was a wrap. So, Ethel, tell us about who you are. And if you want to share anything about that story, feel free. But the people want to know, who is Ethel?
Well, thank you. Thank you so very much for this opportunity. Well, I'm Ethel Belair. I am a run coach and avid runner. And yes, and I remember meeting you, April, with Tanish. Tanish was running the race. We were doing the race. And yeah, it's called The Race in Atlanta, Georgia. It's coming up October 7th. Register, you guys. I think they still have spots left. Hey, that's a little plug. But at any rate, we were running the race, and I live in Miami. I told Tanish, I'll come down and I'll pace you. I'll run with you your first half marathon. And I said, what is your time? What time would you like to run it in? And she said, I don't know. I don't want to put pressure on myself. And I had an idea in my mind, but I didn't say anything. Anyway, she told me 2:30. So we got her to 2:30. It was 2:29 or something. And yeah, she did it. And April ran her 5K, my daughter Karine as well. And your son, I think your son was running as well, right?
Was
Yeah,
reluctantly, he was out there. And it was a virtual race because it was COVID. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Comet, we did that Silver Comet Trail, correct?
it was Silver Comet. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So how did you start running, Ethel?
Well, I used to run in high school and yeah, for a year and a half and track. I used to run track. And then I stopped running because I had college prep classes and I was like, oh, I don't know about staying after school. I'm not sure if I can handle, studying plus running, staying after school and training. That'll be too much for me. I need to focus on school. So piggyback in I believe 2012. Yes. 2012, I went through a divorce and I left my job in 2014, 9 years ago. And so I started running again. So I picked up running with a group like Girls Run. I met a young friend of mine, Imelda, and she told me about Black Girls Run. And I said, well, I heard of them, but she said, you're not part of the group. I said, no. So I joined the group through a friend of mine named Vivian Delaney. And she helped me out and we started running together. And that's how I began. That's how I started running again. So, during my divorce process, when I started running, it really helped me a lot. My mind, it freed my mind, and I started praying and running. And meeting people and mingling and the BGR. When you meet people in BGR, we just help each other. We no woman left behind.
Absolutely.
So that's what we did, and I became a run leader. I'm a run leader for Black Girls Run Miami Gardens, a co-leader with a friend of mine. She's my classmate years ago. We just celebrated our 35th class reunion. Yay, yay.
Wow.
Miami Edison Senior High. Her name is Joanna. So we co-lead the Miami Gardens Black Girls Run. It's called Gigi Gardens Girls.
Gardens girls. I
Yeah,
love it.
thank
So
you.
I know that people are looking at you because y'all know black don't crack. Can you tell the people how old you are? Because you look amazing.
Thank you. Well, I'm 54 years young. Yay.
Yes.
Yes,
And you
yes.
have run quite everywhere. I mean, you've run in the United States and out of the United States. You run marathons. What's the number? How many marathons? How many halves, if you still remember? And where have been some of the most impactful places that you've run?
Okay. I've ran over 12 full marathons. I've ran maybe over 30 half marathons. I've ran plethora of 5Ks, 10Ks, 15Ks. I've run two 100 meters,
What? Wait a minute. Don't skip over that. How many miles?
100 miles. Yes,
100 miles. That
yes.
would be called an ultra.
Ultra. Yes,
Wow.
ultra marathon.
Okay.
I'm an ultra marathoner. Yes,
Wow.
yes. Not easy, but it's possible. And when I didn't think it was possible, but God is good. I have a friend of mine's when I was running my birthday runs just for fun. I like to run. So I was running when I turned 50. I ran a 50K. A group of us ran, got together, different legs. 5:30 in the morning. We'll run 13.1. A group of us met, and then we'll run another group meet, run a 8 miles until we got 50K, which is 31 miles, like 31 miles. Got that done. Then when I turned 51, I said, let's run 51 miles. So I got a group of us, a friend of mine's, Chris. I call him Mr. Admin. We got together in a group, got grouped together and set up a Facebook page and asked people, invite people, and many of them joined us and did the same thing. So we got 51 miles done.
Wow.
Then a friend of mine, he's like, well, you ran 51 miles in 14 hours. You can do an ultra marathon, do 100 miles. Oh, you're crazy. Y'all crazy. I'll watch y'all doing it. So, at any rate, they do call me crazy on these miles. So now they're calling me crazy and end up running. I said, you know what? I'll do a 50. He said, well, if you don't want to do 100 miles, let's do the 100K then.
Okay.
And I signed up for Wildcat Ultra. They
Oh, wow.
just had it last weekend. It's on Labor Day weekend.
Where is that at?
That's in Pensacola, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wildcat.
So yeah, I did a 100K, which was 62 miles. Ended up being 64 because the loop that we ran around. So by the time finishing, it was 64 miles. And finished that. Thank God. I was like, wow, I did it.
These
18
people,
hours,
we gotta know for 60, how many? 62 miles?
62 miles.
For somebody who's beginning, they're like, okay, I'm just trying to do my 5K, which is 3 something miles. Okay,
hmm
62. How does one prepare? How does one how your feet don't fall off? Like, what is that process for you?
Well, it's really mind over matter because I just went into it just like with my birthday run. Make sure you have your nutrition and whatever, it's whatever works for you. Because doing your training runs while you training out there, you take your goo, your honey stingers, your pineapple, pickles, whatever works for you. You try that out during the training runs. So when it's time to race day, you don't try anything new because you don't want your stomach bothering you. Anything new will mess you up, just like new shoes. You don't want to start off with new sneakers because it may hurt you, may not be the correct ones. So for that, you switch off. Sneakers have to be switched,
Mm,
during the runs,
during the race.
during the race. You switch, you have time, you have a setup, a crew, that people that help you out during your sometimes some people don't have crews,
Okay.
but it's very important to have your crew. Maybe one or two people that help you and pace you during the race because half of the during the race, if it's an ultra marathon, during half of the point of the race, you're able to have somebody to pace you, to
Okay.
manage you, and give you what you need, your nutrition, etc. Your water. You can have a vest on, and you switch your sneakers, switch your socks. You don't know the weather, if it's raining, and if your socks get wet, all of that, and also you need to put your glide on, or what is it called? Nut butter. It's
Okay.
different thing. Vaseline. Make sure you Vaseline your toes, your underarms, different parts of your body because you don't want to chafe. All of that is very important. So I don't know, what was I? Uh,
Okay. So with that do you so how long does it take a person to finish those miles?
well, it depends on the person. Like me, it took me 18 hours
Okay,
because
so
you
wait,
run, you walk.
sleeping? You're not, let me go to take a little nap.
Yes. Well, some people run and sleep during their races. During that, they get a little cat nap. It depends on them. It depends how long you have for that race. Because this particular race, I think it was 30 something hours they give you,
Oh,
or
so you have a certain
don't
time.
recall. I don't recall for the 60, for the 100K. But
Okay.
for the 100 miles, that particular one give you 100 hours. I mean, not 100 hours, sorry. For that particular one, they gave you, for 100 miles, they give you 40 hours.
Okay.
Some races is 24 hours. Some races is 32 hours.
Did you
It
sleep?
depends.
You take a nap?
I don't. One time it was like 5 minutes. I sat down. I'm like, I gotta go. I
Ooh,
can't. I can't sit still. I know they call me type A personality or whatever that is. I'm just like on the go, on the move.
so
I
how does the body feel after? Because I've run my first, y'all see the Chicago right there, Chicago Marathon. That Ethel was instrumental in helping me. But
yes.
I know for 26 miles, my body was tired. I was hungry. I ate up everything in the restaurant after I finished. So
Yes.
how does one person constantly run for 18? I know you probably walked a little bit. A lot
Yes,
of
you
people are
do.
like, "Oh, no, you don't walk." No,
Yes,
people walk.
you Yes, you
Mhm.
do. That's the next thing I was gonna say. You do walk, run it, walk, run. It depends on you. Me, I start off with running like 20 miles straight, nonstop walking, and then I get into the uh, um intervals, running and walking. So it
Mm,
depends on the person. Everybody have their way of doing it. Some people do the Galloway method, from the beginning, mile number one. So you eat during the race, eat pizza. Yeah, some people eat pizza. I ate pizza during that time. And then you have
I
what happened? What did you say?
love pizza. Shout out pizza.
Yes, pizza. Yes. So I had pizza, I had pickles, and pickles helped me a lot. But now I can really eat a lot of pickles because of my stomach.
Mm,
But I used to eat a jar of pickles, and then I used to have swollen arms, swollen fingers, and
uh,
because too much of sodium, have to balance it out.
what was the hardest task, whether it be a marathon or a 100 miler, like in running, the hardest thing you've ever done?
I'm trying to understand your question because not the
What,
hardest rates, but
maybe you could have been the hardest race, like a race that was super, super hard where you maybe cried and you were like, I don't know if I'm going to
oh
get
yeah,
this finished.
I recall which one vividly. That was in Atlanta. It was the circus. What is it called? The circus. It's in December, and it was Jamila. She's a race director. That race was a 40 miler. And
Ooh,
I live in Atlanta. You don't know where you're going with that race. You have to follow a card and they'll tell you. And then I live in Miami and this race was in Atlanta. I had to follow the card, which street, which route to turn, and going around in circles trying to find it. Frustrated, lost, 20 degrees. It was very cold. And hilly Atlanta, hot Atlanta, hilly. Yes.
in the
So
dark?
I'm
Was
sorry.
was it daytime or was it a dark, like at night?
Oh, it started like 6 o'clock in the morning. Was it 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning? And from that time, running until how many hours it took me? Oh, it took me longer. Longer. Was it 20? It
Ooh.
took me a long time. I don't even recall how long, but it was tough for me because of those hills, hilly Atlanta. My foot was hurting. I was like, oh my God, I'm not a quitter. I don't give up. And
Mhm.
I'm tenacious, but I was like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna stop this. So I said, no, 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 you're not a quitter. It was very cold, but I was like, keep going, Ethel, push through it. And that's what I did. That was the hardest race for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna get to the meat of this because
Mhm.
Ethel has to go, but we have to I want to talk about the spiritual aspect of running because for me, I know that running was almost like a portal into worship for me. Many runs, I've cried my eyes out, I've talked to God. I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
And on my runs, I feel so connected to Christ. And so I remember we were running in Stone Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Ethel was visiting and we ran around the mountain and I had such a mountaintop experience because we started talking about life and through our interaction she started to encourage me and I just felt the Holy
No, getting
Spirit.
emotional. I'm sorry. I remember clearly. Yes.
And
I'm,
it was a spiritual moment, and I just wanna know for you, because you run so often, do you talk to God on your runs? What does that feel like for you?
yes. Oh my God, April. Yes, I remember that vividly. And you and I, we prayed together, and you was pouring your heart out. And I said, all God led me, and I'm a Christian as well. All God led me to do was to pray for you. He led me what to say. And I stood in the gap for you and I prayed. We cried together and we laughed together. And then after that, yes, we took pictures.
Yep.
We got to take our pictures. And
Yes.
for me, when running, I talk to God a lot. I talk to the Lord. I pray. I stand in the gap for other people, whoever He leads to my mind. He'll just place somebody in my mind, in my spirit. And I'm like, okay, I pray for them, and if it's a race, He lead me or point me, say that person right there with the yellow shirt, pray. And I pray for them, I pray that nobody get injured, they finish their race. And we don't know what people are going through while they're running the races, like me, with all of us, of course.
Yes.
We have challenges and we go
Yes.
through things. So, and that's not the only time to pray now. We pray good time, bad
Right.
times, high, low, up, down,
Right.
always, right? So he'll point to me who to pray for and what to pray for specifically. And during my runs, I'm like, hey, you got this. If I see somebody walk in or so forth, I'm like, come on now, you got this. And I'm good. And sometimes at the end of the race, they come to me and say, thank you so much. That little push you gave me, that
Yeah.
on the back, I got my second win, and I feel like I could keep going. And if I'm not running, if I'm cheering somebody along the way with the race, come on, you got this, you're almost there. I'll be at almost close to the end, or I'll end of the finish line. I'll end up running sometimes with them. Come on, push through, and they'll thank me. I say, no, thank God you did this. It's in you. You never know what the person is going through. You never know if that was their first race. You never know if they lost a loved one.
Yeah.
So I do have my spiritual connection with God during my alone time when I'm running alone, or if I'm
Mhm.
running with friends, we'll talk about the
Mhm.
Lord, we'll talk about other things that's going on in life, but
Mhm.
always praying for them, always praying about the situation that, God give us strength to endure it, because sometimes He don't take it away.
Yeah.
And we ask Him to give us the strength to endure it, like the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I could change, courage to change things I can't, and wisdom to know the difference. So we give it out to Him, we surrender all, and know that He's in control and He could handle it, and know that it's going to get better, and give us strength and joy in the midst of the storm. And one of my favorite scriptures, Philippians 4 verse. Is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And during my run, I said, Lord, I can do it. Because a lot of times doubts come in my mind. The mind, my God, it like, nope, you can't do it. Nope, you're not going to finish. I said, oh, devil, you're a liar. I can do all things through Christ. Your legs feeling tired. Your mind feel like you're not going to make it. The finishing line is right there, or you got 3 more miles and you've done 20, 23, and feel like, but nope, we're not going to give up. We're not going to quit. We're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on pushing and finish it. Finish
Yeah.
what we started, because there's no quitting here. And if I
Mm-mm.
have to crawl to the finish line, I tell people, my race, my pace, my
Yeah.
run, my fun. So do what you got to do. Like, what's your time, or what do we think? I don't know. Sometimes
No.
I have some in my mind, like I want to push and finish better than what I did previously.
Yeah.
I want a PR, but most of the time it's not about that.
Yeah.
Even when I started running, it never was about that. Never was about medal. Some people say no bling, I'm not running. Okay. That's your prerogative. It's okay. But I don't run for that. I just run for the joy of it. And I'm grateful for God for life, health, and strength that I'm
Yes.
able to do this, um, pain in
It's a
my
gift.
body. I'm sorry, you were going to say something?
It's a gift.
It is.
Running is a
It's
gift.
a gift. Yes, it is a
Because
gift.
when you can't, then you realize how not running makes you feel. And
Yeah.
then you get back out there and you go, "Man, I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that God has given me the activity of my limbs and I can run."
Yes. And sometimes people say, wow, Shanta, you like you don't have a bad day. You're always smiling. I was like, yeah, I do. I'm human. Yes, I do have bad days.
Yeah,
I have my moments and
yeah,
I'm grateful God for the strength He gave me and the gift of smiling. I love to smile, love to cheer
yeah,
people on, love to encourage people, and love to tell new beginners, you can do it. I tell them, get off the couch, start off with walking, and then from that walking, like I told Tanish, from the walking, push a little bit, run a little bit, but be sure you check with your doctor
yeah,
and be sure you get the right shoes because there's different types of sneakers. There's some for track speed workout. There's sneakers for long distance running. Make sure one size don't fit all. So
right.
because this I like this type and this fit me and it works for me, doesn't mean just because I like Brooks, you're gonna like Brooks, so it's gonna work for you. Find out what works best for you and use that. And you may have to switch up. I used to be a Brooks girl, you know. I switch. I still like Brooks, and I
Yeah.
like the Ghosts a lot. But now I use Hokas. I like
Uh,
Hokas, and I'm gonna try tomorrow. I have a long run. I'm gonna try the Nike
oh,
Invincible 3. Yeah,
oh, you fancy.
you know,
Okay.
Stella Dix and my friend Naomi told me, "Girl, try these." I was like, "Okay."
Oh,
So we'll,
nice.
we'll see how that goes.
Okay, let us know. Do you have any upcoming races? Of
Yes, I have
course.
several. But guess what, April? First time in 9 years that I took a break. I haven't raced in 3 months. First time. I said, you know what? I've been running a lot. I went to Ghana, had my vacation for my birthday, enjoyed myself, and I was like, I'll just do 6.26. I think I did. Yeah, I think 6.26. That was the longest I did after I ran Canton, Ohio. That was in May. And I was like, no racing for 3 months. My friend Monique, she was like, yeah, right. We'll see. I said, no, hold me accountable. I will not do it. I'm just gonna take a break, just run 3, 4 miles and rest my body. But then afterwards, I stopped feeling it. I was like, oh my God, I don't know. I don't know. I was like, I feel so tired. I feel so lazy because I'm so used to going. It's my masseuse who told me, he know me for 7 years. And he's like, you get up in the morning, your muscles like, what are you doing to me? It's just going. Although I didn't race for 3 months, I should have still continued, maybe continue my long runs, maybe like
Uh-huh,
10 miles. I didn't do that. So it's
uh-huh.
like I had to start all over.
When your
So,
muscles start to get stiff.
yeah, I was like, oh, I'm feeling tired. Running 3 miles, feeling tired. And I was like, mm-mm. So just past week, this past week, I went to Stewart. My friend was running a race and I did 14 miles. I was like, wow, it's the
Wow.
longest I've done since May. So now, um, I forgot your question. Wait. Oh, my
Uh,
upcoming races, yeah.
yes.
So I now have races coming up. So I didn't race in June, July, August. So September I ran with my friend last week. So I have a race coming up next week. I have a 50K. It's like a training race,
Okay.
and I'm gonna do that. God's will. Then I have October, I have the race in Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plug for the
October
race in Atlanta. It is October the
7th.
7th. It's
Yeah.
a 5K and they have a half marathon. If you haven't registered, hurry up and register. They're gonna close it soon. That's the plug.
Yes, that's the plug. But that race, every time I say I'm not going to do it anymore, I find myself doing it because it's a great race. The race director, she's amazing, and she's a black, and she's black, and she's a woman, and I just
Yes.
love it, and the vibe, the atmosphere, the
Yes.
people, and we have a party afterwards. And
Yeah.
all these hills in Atlanta, hills, I find myself doing it again and again. But last time for real, because
Right.
I'm working towards my 50 states half. Um,
Ah.
so I have Nebraska after that, um, Nebraska half, Omaha, and then November I have Boston half, and then I have Hawaii. God's willing.
Oh,
Uh,
wonderful. Okay.
yes,
what would you want to leave new runners? They are literally just getting off the couch and they see you and they go, wow, if she can do it, I can do it. What would you want to encourage them?
I would like to encourage them, tell them, yes, you can do it. I'll say, get up, make sure you rest, take your nutrition, ask your doctor first, have the proper shoes, start off with walking. Then you can, start running, maybe like a quarter mile jog. And then after that, maybe join a group, a run group. Like here in Miami, we have the Running Edge. Um, we have No Run Group. We have Pura Vida. We have I Run. We have several groups out there, BGR at different locations. So find a running group and your tribe and meet with somebody. Have an accountability partner. Log your miles. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. You could do it. It's mind over matter. Stay focused. Just make sure you get enough rest. Because a lot of times they think I don't rest. They see me run. It's like, you're always on the go. I get my nap. Actually,
You get your naps.
I just have like 30, 40 minutes nap before log on. I'm like, gotta get my little nap. And
Good.
that's very important. And take a rest. When you're running, I used to run 6 days a week and have one day of rest, but now it's like 5 days. They're like same difference at though. I'm like, well, and also what I want to like to tell new runners is please not only run, go to the gym.
Oh,
Make
it's
sure you
preach.
do yoga. That's
Yeah.
right. You have to alternate. You have to do other workouts. You have to cycle. Make sure you get other things in. Build your muscle up, your
Yeah.
abs. Tighten your abs. Have tight abs. Work the
I didn't
muscle.
realize that until a couple years in, and I was plateauing at my pace, and I was like, "Why am I not getting faster?" Well, because I was just running 3 times a week.
Nope, nope. That's not enough. You
Yeah,
have to have other workouts. The gym. I go twice a week. I used to go once a week, and I was like, it wasn't enough.
yeah,
So even three times a week would be good, and waking up early in the morning. I have to wake up for something because now I have a new assignment. I work at a different school now this year. It takes me like 45, 50 minutes to get to work.
yeah.
So I still have to sacrifice.
Sacrifice. Yeah,
At the same time, sacrifice.
yeah,
Wake up early, do my devotion, seek ye first the kingdom of God,
yeah.
and then get up to the gym. I used to do Tuesdays and Thursdays. I say it's a terrific toning, tightening Tuesday or Thursday.
I love it.
Thursday, yeah. And then the other days I get my running in. And yoga is good. It really stretches you. And also stretch. Please stretch. If you don't do yoga, if you can't afford to go do yoga, some local libraries have it, like my
Oh,
local library have it on Wednesdays.
that's
But
good.
home, please stretch. And before running, stretch.
Mhm,
Stretch after your run.
mhm.
To myself, yeah. It's very important because you don't want to, and don't start out too fast. That's another
Mhm.
thing. Don't give up. And don't compare yourself. I got so much to
That's
say. Please don't compare yourself with anybody. You, your own competition. Look in the mirror. That's your competition. Be you, your race, your pace, your run, your fun. Do you, and you'll eventually get there. Set up a goal in mind and then register for a race. Give yourself some time and register for a race. Do it. If you have to walk it, and then the next time you do it, run it and alternate, do intervals. You got
mm.
it. Don't give up. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. I remember you said,
Yeah.
"Mom, MOM, mind over matter."
That's right. You
And
remember, right?
I remember that. I have it on tape. I will never forget her energy. I will never forget how encouraging you are. And so if y'all want to solicit Ethel, she is a coach. So that's her handle right there. Definitely hit her up. Ethel, thank you so
Oh,
much.
April, thank you. You're so welcome. So very welcome. And you did ask me, I know I was rambling. You did ask me about my favorite race and races. And, I've ran, I'm doing the World Major Marathons. I've done Berlin. I've done Chicago 3 times. Love Chicago's done it
Okay.
3 times. I've done New York City. Was born in New York, the Bronx. New York.
Okay.
When I did New York, I was like, "Oh, Chicago, I love you, but New York is my favorite now." Until I did London. I just did London this past April. London is my favorite. They have everybody cheering you on from the beginning to the end, and it was raining. but
Oh,
somebody
wow.
was there cheering you on, pushing you. The crowds, the people, they were amazing. Not that New York isn't, New York is, and
Yeah.
Chicago. You have
Just
people there
different.
pushing you, encourage you. You got this. Be strong, keep going. Motivating you. So London, I love it, and the London crew. Oh my God, those people are amazing. So you
Wow.
guys are doing, yeah, you got Chicago coming up. You got New York coming up, and
Yep.
London, those who got in, and I'm doing Tokyo. Yay, yay.
You
Yes, ma'am. That'll be my fifth
are?
world major. I thank God. Yes.
Wow.
Then I have Boston left. So I do need y'all support. Y'all support, support, support. So,
Yes.